Hello all, how are you? Greetings from me as well. I'm Soti, aka Runner, Community Manager of Hack the Box. Very nice to see Hack the Box, you see, also behind my little wall of Hack the Box. I'm Soti, Community Manager. Very nice to speak to you all from here. I will open with a little note due to the circumstances. I hope you're all safe. I hope you are all as happy as possible. I hope you make the best of the quarantine and whatever you are facing, because I know it's difficult. It's difficult for us, for sure, where I come from, because we cannot leave the house, and it's difficult for many people. I hope the CTF, it will be, and the talks today and all the journey, we will have all these 3 days of this thing and all the days that have passed till now, will help you to get your mind of these things, have fun, enjoy it as you enjoyed the tournament we did last week that had so much attention from you, and thank you very much for participating. Thank you also for the warm love you had towards Academy also. And I couldn't thank you more for everything that you do and that you're part of us. So thank you for joining today the talks. I hope you're all safe. Warm greetings from me. You must know me, if not, I'm Soti, Red Runner, was a hacker, will be a hacker, community manager of Hack the Box. Love this company, it's like my family. Love the community, everything that we do, everything that we interact, everything is awesome. And let's get started with everything that we will present today. We have awesome talks. We have from our awesome content delivery manager, Shaun, that will do hacking, about AD hacking 101, a beginner's guide. We will have Ikat from the business team that will show how you can utilize Hack the Box for your university training. We have also Arjen, a professor from Netherlands that is also a Hack the Box ambassador, how he utilizes Hack the Box for his students, because he is a professor at the university over there. And of course, we have Nifu, or aka Nikos, from Hack the Box, the head of operations, that will say how you can utilize Hack the Box certifications and hacking knowledge in general in order, to pursue your hacking career, your cybersecurity career, and everything. So I will start with my maybe most boring presentation, because it's about, I will brief you a little about the CTF and everything that we will go through. So, first of all, as I said, thank you very much for everything that you're joining this year. We're very happy that you have you. And just in order to see some numbers, we have universities from all around the world. From any place, we have more than 200 universities enrolled. We have, that means more than 2,000 players playing at the CTF. And everyone is very hyped and excited. We see it all over in social and Discord, and thank you for following us there. So I will start with the registration. The registration has to go at the ctf.hackthebox.eu. You have to register. Anyone has to register. It's different from your Hack the Box account. Yes, it's a different platform, a different database. You can use the same name, whatever you want, but it's a different one. So please make sure to join there. And afterwards, what you have to do is the team captain needs to create a team. The team can have any name. Make sure to have fun. My team is No Shell, No Food. Of course, we have also the Hack the Box team, but make sure to create your own. So yes, the team captain needs to create the team, so he can be the captain. And then he can write all the details where you chat, etc. And you can also use your team for all your future CTFs that you will be doing in Hack the Box, that you will see all of them listed always at ctf.hackthebox.eu, the platform. And anyone has to go there, join the team. And what do the players have to do? They have to go, the rest of the team members, all they have to do is to register, to hit join a team. And the team leader has to approve them. You see this little tick down there? This is what he has to do, or her or she has to do. And of course, the rest of the players have to just join an existing team. And of course, the team captain is the only person that needs to add the special, the secret, but so powerful invite code that is going to give them access to all of our not insane, hopefully, content, but insanely good. So this is the other thing that you have to do. As we said, it is only for 10 people per team, not more. It can be from one if you feel that capable and if you're a beast, so bring it on. But we encourage you to be, last year we were 5 players, but this year we go bigger, 10 players, who knows? Next year 100, no, I'm kidding, but we'll see, we'll get there. Yes, only 10 players. If we see people with more than 10 players, you will have to get disqualified. A lot of people said where the CTF, where I have to join. HTB Uni CTF 2020 Quals, aka qualification round. This is the CTF that you have to join, and you have to join with the password you provided you last night. Or day, depending on your time zone. I'm sorry, I forgot about that. Guys, if you have not yet received your invite code or something, please speak with the team captain and the professor that have received the invite code for sure. And if you are and you are not, 1 or 2 people that had some issues with their email providers, with their exchange, DM me on Discord and we resolve all issues. So make sure to ping me or the team and we will make sure to get you enrolled. So yes, the other thing that you have to do is you have to join our awesome CTF and hacking time. For everyone that is not familiar with the Hack the Box platform, all they have to do, because the challenges will be either downloadable or Dockers, or maybe somewhere else hidden over the internet, I don't know. So all those have to be just spawn a Docker, like to power on, power it off, copy-paste the address that is displayed, the IP address on the port, and then you can start your scans, you can do your Nmap, your enumeration, you can do your ping, whatever. So this is how you start it. And flag will look like something like HTTP and something inside with curly brackets. So this is how you have to look for your flags, and this is how you have to submit them. Of course, the one that submits the flags first gets the most points, because he gets the blood. They get the blood, and the rest afterwards, they get less points. And of course, so if me, let's say, and Shaun have solved the same amount of challenges, if Shaun pawned them first, he will appear higher on the scoreboard. So this is how the flag system is working. I know you love your flag hoarding, but make sure to hoard them at an appropriate time. So let's go about the challenges. Sorry for the meme, I had to, because I saw the other presentations that had all of the memes get prepared. But I had to add this. Now I want to do also a shout out for the delivery and the content team that created awesome challenges. We had a lot of meetings and they had a lot of talks. And I don't want to say names. I believe everyone that works in the content delivery and the content development team of Hack the Box have done an amazing work. The difficulty, we heard last year's feedback. Last year's feedback was that it was more hard than they wanted to. So we started from beginner, completely beginner, till hard. So that's why we'll have all challenges possible, 31 in total, and no, there are a lot for 48 hours. But we want you to keep you busy, and of course we will keep the CTF afterwards. I will say that also, one day also open for you to gather up your posts, gather up your anything, have your solvers ready to provide your awesome write-ups. So yes, we will have web, pawn, crypto, forensics, reversing, hardware, because we're proud of that category, of course, blockchain, and 3 mixed challenges. I don't know if I should share a hint, but it is on my favorite platform, one of them, we'll see. For everyone that knows me, they know which this is. And so, yes, it's going to be intense. Shout out to the team. They did an amazing work. I don't know what to say. Makelaris, Felamos, Ian, Shaun, Minato, DLGT. I'm sorry if I'm forgetting any names. Congratulations for all the work that you've been putting into. So, let's go afterwards to support. Where it will be done, where else? Discord. Everyone that you have been notified that in order to join the CTF, all you have to do is you have to DM a very specific command instruction, not to join the CTF, to join the CTF secret support channels, because they're hidden from the rest of the community. So, like, not people that are not relevant to the CTF chat, so you can see all the hints, all the announcements, anything. So you have already all the guidance on how to be added to these channels. And all you have to do, yes, is you have to DM the Hack the Box bot, and you will be added. If anything comes up during the CTF, before, after anything, all that you have to do is you have to DM me or Shaun or Michaelaris or everyone from the Hack the Box Discord team, the admins, the moderators, and all of them will point you to the right direction. Everyone, believe me, is very active, and the whole team has been working on this event from the Discord staff from the Hack the Box. So just ask them and they will point you to the right direction. These are the channels that you are supposed to see after you join the secret support channels. The announcement, the rules, and the support. Rules and about the write-ups have been posted yesterday. The only announcement that we have as of now is about the CTF and the talk today. And for the support, some people have started already asking about some stuff for the CTF. Rules. Oh, perfect. Yes. So about the rules, this year we asked write-ups. This year we asked the write-ups that have to be provided 10 days after the CTF. What we need for that, we need the flag screenshot, we need a POC of your solver exploit, how you did it, the steps to reproduce, and of course the solvers. Top 15 teams will qualify to the final round. We kindly ask you, the top 20 teams to provide us with the write-ups, because some team, 1 or 2 teams last year didn't prove write-ups, so they didn't qualify to the final round. And for that reason also, we will keep the CTF 1 day more open after the scoreboard will be closed, but you will have access to gather your POCs and everything. You will have to send your how's it called? Yes, you have to send your write-up by December 2nd to the CTF write-ups at hackthebox.eu, and the team will get it. As for rules, for this year, they are already posted in Discord. I think I misplaced, yes, of course, I misplaced this slide, but I remember from scratch because I created them. Awesome. So, Chap, if you see this, and Nazik and Daf, I hope it's okay. So, yes, for the rules, guys, all of them are posted and sent to your emails. The most common rules, of course, you don't have to flag share, you don't have to outsource the challenges. If we can't do any of this kind of actions, you will be automatically disqualified. The CTF is only for players, for university students, bachelor or master, but of course, but I'm a PhD researcher, I'm a lecturer, blah, blah, blah. No, you're not qualified because we consider it is kind of uneven. Although we have some people in the company that like so young, but so bright. But so I know that age, of course, doesn't matter to skills, but we want to keep it as fair as possible. So yes, it's only for students. And they have to provide the write-ups, as I told you, by December 2nd. And if you do not provide it, you will be disqualified. So what about the prizes? The write-ups are key because we will give write-up for the best write-up team, and we will give for the master exploiter. So the team that has the most massive and awesome exploits will get an awesome prize. And the first team will get, first of all, everyone that participates to the University CTF. If you go to the University CTF landing page, you will see that you all get credit from DigitalOcean because you participate in this event, and thank you very much for this generous gift. The rest, for the qualifier round, will get Hack the Box VIP and Parrot swag. And for the finals, again, we have awesome prizes, hoodies, desk masks, stickers, Parrot, swag. We have from DigitalOcean awesome credit, and I think there are no words. Like the prizes this year have, as the content, as the community has increased, so it had to increase your expectations also. So that was the prizes. That was all from me. I want to see if we have any questions. I will briefly check through the Discord and YouTube. I hope you liked it and you found everything clear? We'll jump now to the next presentation. And I want you to enjoy it. I want you to take this time not only to hug, but also to learn as much as possible from this experience, to have fun. You have this opportunity to do a CTF with every university from all over the world. So take this possibility and take this opportunity and chat and meet other people, because now with lockdown, I know this is very difficult. So I will stop sharing now and give me 2 minutes in order to go and see some of the questions. Okay, so will the challenge release time be staggered? I believe that means that some challenges will be sent at first, and then some rest of the challenges will be sent at the next 1 hour, and then at the next 1 hour. No, all challenges will be released at once. We had this thought on to do it like that, but we maybe do this for the final round. So yes, this is our thought. We are discussing it though for the finals, but we will see. I don't know if you believe it. Of course, we will share a feedback survey for the finals, and for the CTF. So make sure to leave all this feedback that you would like to see for the CTF at the feedback survey. Another question we have, if this will go, yes, this talk that we're doing today will be live on YouTube after the end. So all the presentation, everything will be available for any time zone that couldn't make it at this time, although we picked this time zone so we cover as much as possible. Sorry if we couldn't make it, but yes, this is what you have to do. We will post it all over and you will be able to catch up later. I don't think I have anything more to add. If we do not have any other questions, I will go also through the comments. No? Yes. No, everything is perfect. Okay, so, we have another question. When Desmos will be available again? Hello, Konstantinos. Yes, we know. We couldn't even believe that as Hack the Box, one of our top demanding products would be those desk mats, but I know, I get you. I take mine, I use it to the office, and I get it, and then I take it to the Hack the Box office, and then get back to my home. Yes, they're awesome. We believe they're going to be in a few days, but we'll see. I think that is all. Yes, okay, perfect, guys. So, thank you. We'll chat more later with the next talk in about 10 minutes and with our awesome content delivery manager, Shaun, and we'll chat later. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll speak soon. Bye. So, hello all again. It's time to start with our next talk, adding to the stream. I see, before we start, I want to say about a conflict I see on the comments. Jordan, yes, please put your question and speak with Makilaris about the exact point system, how it works. There is no point for conflicting right now. And if you have any questions about detail how the scoring will work per challenge, of course, we're happy to reply detailedly. Let's start and thank you very much, Makilaris, for providing all this insight to the chat. So, let's go to our next guest and awesome colleague, I have to say. I'm adding to the chat Shaun. Hello, Shaun. How are you?
Hello, everybody.
It's not been a while since we talked. Guys, this is Shaun. Shaun is the content delivery manager. He's the one that also is responsible for the famous Dante. He is also the one that is responsible for the machines and most of the releases and all the things that you see in Hackthebot platform. So this is your guy. You can ask anything you want. We will also do a NAMA with him. So you don't have to, you can put your questions now relative to what Shaun has to say, and we can keep more questions about the machine or anything, but you can bring also those questions also today. That's why I started also this presentation a little bit sooner, because I believe we may have more questions. So let's get started. This is egotistical or Shaun. I'm leaving up to you and the team. I'm adding also your presentation. And we are going to discuss, as you see, an Active Directory 101, a beginner's guide to enumeration. Thank you very much, and I'm leaving you to your audience. Bye.
Thank you very much, Soti. And yeah, I just want to reiterate what Sotiria said. It's so cool to see so many people sign up to the Uni CTF this year, and I really can't wait to see players engage in the content and solve our machines and challenges. We've put a lot of work into the challenges and machines this year. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to hearing everybody's feedback. So I'm going to do a little talk today on Active Directory. Active Directory is a huge, colossal topic, which anybody would struggle to get through in 20 minutes time. But what I'm going to do is go through some really basic overviews of enumeration vectors, attack vectors, etc. And I'll take some questions at the end as well. So just a little bit about me. So I'm Shaun, also known as egotisticalSW. I'm the head of content delivery at Hack the Box. I've got many letters after my name. I'm a father to two boys. I'm a musician. A little known fact about me is that I'm a qualified music teacher as well. I'm an author. I think I've got 7, 8 books out at the moment, mostly educational texts, but nonetheless. And I am certified the world's most okay hacker. I've worked on and off in InfoSec since 2009. I've worked in developed vetting required roles. I've worked in the British government, private organisations, freelance, etc. And some of my background is academic as well. So I've been a college and university lecturer, developed the UK's cybersecurity curriculum for schools and colleges, and various other really underpaid, undervalued public sector projects as well. So some of the things that we're going to look at in today's presentation, but like I said, we're going to have a look at an overview of some of the basic AD enumeration and attack vectors. This talk is aimed at beginners. Okay, so I'm just giving you a warning if you are a seasoned veteran, if you've completed one of our amazing Active Directory Pro labs, such as Offshore or Raster Labs or Cybernetics. You're probably not going to get a lot out of this talk, but obviously you are more than welcome. Okay. That said, if you have never attacked Active Directory before, you hopefully at least we'll get some information and some knowledge out of this presentation. So we're going to start with what is Active Directory. So I've given you the textbook printout of Microsoft's definition of what Active Directory is, but essentially it's a method of authenticating and authorizing users and computers in a Windows domain network. It's responsible for assigning and enforcing security policies to those users and computers. When we look at Active Directory, you'll see the term objects used quite a lot. Now, objects is just a loose term describing elements like users, computers, shares, share folders, printers, groups, applications. A machine running Active Directory domain services is known as a domain controller, and we're going to be having a look at one of those in a second. And the main services offered in Active Directory, LDAP, Kerberos, and DNS. And we're going to have a look at a couple of those now. So why do we care about Active Directory? Well, it's used in 95% of Fortune 500 companies. And let's face it, when you go into a corporate environment or a general office area, if you like, more often than not, those users will be using a domain attached workstation. Okay. So if we're doing a real life engagement, we are more than likely going to encounter AD elements. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, like company sensitive information that is going to be stored on in AD environments, which makes it even more important to secure. Unfortunately, some attack vectors are installed by default, which we are going to see later on. So I just want to give a basic overview of LDAP. Now, LDAP stands for Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, and this is an integral part of Active Directory. Now, it's an open source cross-platform protocol, and it's used for authentication against various directory services like Active Directory. And LDAP is the language that applications use to communicate with other servers that also provide directory services. So in other words, LDAP is a way that systems in the network can sort of speak to Active Directory. If you think about the relationship between, compare Apache to HTTP. So for example, Apache is a web server and it uses the HTTP protocol. Active Directory is a directory server that uses the LDAP protocol. So think of it like that. Kerberos, you've probably seen this, maybe some of you have seen this image in many different forms before, but just a little bit of an overview, excuse me, of Kerberos. Now, this is a protocol that allows users to authenticate on the network and access services once they're authenticated. It's been the default authentication protocol for domain accounts since Windows 2000, I believe. So quite an old protocol. When users log in, Kerberos is used to authenticate them, and whenever it's used whenever whenever a user wants to access a service on the network. And it's thanks to Kerberos that users won't need to type in their password every time, and the server doesn't need to know the user's password either. It's a stateless authentication protocol, and it's based on tickets, and it decouples the user's credentials from their requests to resources, so the plain text password isn't transmitted. It relies on tickets, as I've already mentioned. So we have something called the TGS, which is a ticket granting service ticket. And that relies on a ticket granting ticket, and it assumes if that a user has got a valid TGT or ticket granting ticket, they must have proven their identity. Now, this sounds really convenient, but it can have some disastrous effects, which we're going to have a look into later on. So I'm going to go over some, like I said in the beginning, we're going to have a look at some real basics, some real, top level overviews of how to enumerate directory. We're not going to go into much detail because time is against us, and I'm trying to get through these slides quite quickly as it is. So if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask at the end. So what we've done here, guys, we've run a standard Nmap scan against a target, and this is what it's come back with. Now, as you can see, we've got lots of different services, but if we take a quick look at port 53, 88 and 389, we can see that we've got DNS running on 53, Kerberos on 88 and LDAP on 389. We've also got secure LDAP on 636. Now, this is very indicative of a domain controller with these services. So we know whatever's running at 10.129.33.61, that is most likely a domain controller. So what we're going to try and do next is get the FQDN, which is the fully qualified domain name. So we just add a few more switches to our Nmap scan. There's loads of different ways that you can do this, but if you're running a more in-depth Nmap scan, this is going to come back by default anyway. So you can see the fully qualified domain name. The fully qualified domain name is the DNS namespace for the domain. It helps for further, it's going to help us, I should say, with our enumeration later on. But you can see that adding these switches to our Nmap scan, it's come back as egotistical-bank.local. So we're going to make a note of that. Now, what we can do at this point is use a tool called Kbrute. Now, Kbrute is a tool that quickly brute forces and enumerates AD accounts through Kerberos pre-authentication. What we've done here is we've run Kerberos and we've said we want to enumerate users. We've given the domain, which is egotistical-bank.local. We've given the domain controller as well, and we've also got usernames.txt. Now, we could have given some common usernames in usernames.txt. We could have enumerated another service, for example, a website, to get those usernames together. But what we're going to do here is run this against the domain controller, and you can see that it's returned one valid username, which is fsmith. Now, we're going to keep that in our notes as well. We've got a valid username. We might be able to use this later in the engagement, either for attack or enumeration purposes. Just quickly as well, some of you may not have used these tools before. I have given a link in the slides if you want to take a look at these later on and obviously experiment with them. I highly encourage you to do that. Another way we can do this is using a tool called LDAP search. Now, what you can see here is we can query the domain without credentials, which means something called a null bind is enabled. Okay, not going to pay too much attention to that for now, because like I said, time is sort of against me. If we have a look at this slide now, what we're trying to do here is enumerate the password policy. Now, what we've done here is similar to the previous command, but what we've done is pipe this over to grep and look for any interesting strings like password or lock. Now, this has returned 3 interesting items that we can use later on. So you can see the first one, password properties, or PWD properties, I should say. This means that the passwords on the domain need to meet complexity requirements. And the second one, min password length. Now, fairly self-explanatory. We know that passwords on this domain need to be at least 7 characters long. And finally, the lockout threshold is set to 0. Now, what this means is accounts on the domain are never going to be locked, no matter how many times the account experiences a failed logon attempt. Okay, so this domain essentially means, this information means we can really target any user on this domain without locking that account out. Okay. So what have we discovered so far? We've got the domain, egotisticalbank.local. We've got one valid username. We've got some information on password policies, lockout policies, etc. One route from here on in could be to brute force some services, build a potential word list. But there are other things that we can do as well. So let's take a look at a common Active Directory attack. Now, we can attempt to grab a ticket granting ticket. So if you think back to what we were talking about Kerberos. Now, accounts without Kerberos pre-authentication set on that account, a malicious attacker can directly send a dummy request for authentication. Okay. For this, we're going to use a tool called InPacket, and we are going to request a TGT. Now, as you can see, that has been successful. So we know that this account has got, hasn't got Kerberos pre-authentication set on this. Now, what we can do with this TGT, because it's encrypted using a user's NTLM hash, we can save this to a file and try to crack this hash and get the plain text password. Now, we can use many tools for this. For example, John the Ripper, Hashcat. That's out of scope for this presentation. But if you were to put this into a file and try and crack it, it would return the plain text password, which is the strokes 23. Okay, so now we've got a valid username, we've got a plain text password. So what do we do now? Now, in our initial scans, services like SSH were not visible, but we can try and enumerate the port used by Windows Remote Management, which runs on port 5985. This proves to be open. Now, if the user is part of the remote management group, we can leverage a tool called Evil WinRM and to get a shell on the machine, which is proven to be successful. You'll have to excuse my Meterpreter shell meme. I found it quite difficult to get a WinRM meme. But yes, at this point, we are on the machine as user F Smith. Now, the next thing we can do now we're on the machine is further enumerate. Now, a lot of you will have heard or even used the tool Bloodhound. Bloodhounds, it's an open source tool to be able to analyze domain security. The first thing that I like to do when I get onto an Active Directory machine is to run Bloodhound. Okay, what it's going to do is enumerate the domain, and it's going to present its findings in a graphical format using some graph theory. I think it uses a couple of algorithms. I think it's the A-star algorithm, but I'm not quite sure on that. You'll have to look that up. But what we can do, now we've got a shell as a low priv user, we can continue obviously enumerating. We're going to use Bloodhound. And what this is going to do once we ran this, so we'll just have a look at the switches that we're using. So the domain we're given the username and password. The collection method, we want to collect all of the data it can find, and we've given it the name server of the domain controller. Okay, this is going to generate multiple files that we can then import into Bloodhound. Okay. So when you import your files into Bloodhound, you're going to get something that's presented a little bit like this. Now you can see we've got a user F Smith. You can probably just about see the tiny skull. I've marked that as owned. And what we want to do is to have a look at the ways in which we can escalate our privileges. Now you can see Bloodhound has found another account called SVC_loan_MGR. I'm just going to refer to this account as Loan Manager from here on in. Now we can see that Loan Manager, this account in the middle, I'll just get this account here has got get changes all set privilege set on the account. Now, a really helpful tool in Bloodhound is if you right click on one of the edges, which is here, and click on help, it actually tells you how you can leverage this to escalate privileges. Okay, so we can see here that the user Loan Manager has the DS replication get changes all privilege, and it can perform a DC sync attack. Okay, now DC sync effectively impersonates a domain controller and requests password data from the DC. So now our target of enumeration should be making a lateral movement to the loan manager account to perform this attack. Okay, so let's have a look at how we can do that. So we can do some really standard enumeration. So net user, we can see that this user is part of the remote management users. We can see that it's logged on recently. I've removed the data just so this this presentation doesn't become dated instantly. So some really helpful information there. We can also use the get AD user PowerShell library, I guess. But in this instance, nothing useful has been returned. Now, what we're doing here is we're checking to see if the machine has an auto logon feature enabled via the registry. Okay, and we can see that the default username to log on is in fact loan manager, and also we've got the default password stored in the registry. So what we know now is a valid username. We know that it's part of the remote management group. We've got the password. So what we can do now is leverage the evil WinRM as previously and log on as this account to perform the DC sync attack. For that, we're going to use a tool called Mimikatz, which I'm sure a lot of you have heard before. And what we're going to do here is perform the DC sync attack, and we're going after the administrator account. Okay, and you can see that it's dumped the NTLM hash, and here we can use this hash using a tool in a tool called PSExec, which is again part of Impacket, and we have logged onto the machine, and who am I returns that we are in fact system. Okay, so just a little bit of a recap of what we've done. So we've gone from no access to a fully owned machine in those amounts of steps. Okay, so we've confirmed presence of a domain controller. We've got the fully qualified domain name. We've got the usernames via Kabrut. We've got the password policies via LDAP search. We've got a TGT because pre-authentication was disabled. We cracked the plain text password. We got a low proof shell. We used Bloodhound to enumerate the environment. We confirmed a user, loan manager, has generic all permissions set. We got the auto logon credentials. We logged onto that account to perform the DC sync attack. We got the admin hash, and we've got a system shell via PSExec. Okay. Now, as I mentioned at the start of the presentation, Active Directory is a massively huge topic, you know, something that nobody could cover in 20 minutes. We have got some really cool modules on Academy. So PowerView, Bloodhound, LDAP, we've got more Active Directory modules coming soon. If you haven't checked out Academy yet, I really strongly advise you to do so. academy.hackthebox.eu, go and check it out. And that concludes my presentation. Just want to give a shout out and a thanks to Egress, Mr. Ben, Minato and Cube for their help in putting this together and checking for any sort of upsies that I might have put in. So thanks, guys. And thanks everybody that has been listening. Really appreciate your time. And if you've got any questions, feel free to ask away. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you very much for the presentation. Let's start with some questions that you may have. I know it's irrelevant, but I got it in DM on Discord, so I know it's irrelevant with the presentation, but just give me a minute. So the first question is, how did you started? Not how did you started. What is your what is your process that you follow in order to approve or do not approve a box that goes up on the Hack the Box platform? I know this is a huge message that you have to answer, but if you can keep it shortly, what is your go-to guides when you are going in a box, so the community knows what to contribute?
Okay, thank you for the question. I didn't quite catch who asked this question, but thank you for asking. There's a lot of criteria that goes into selecting a machine. The main things I look for is it fun? Is it something that we have covered previously in a previous release? Is it real life applicable? Those are the main three, if I'm honest. A surefire way to get your machine accepted to the platform is making it something really fun, something that hasn't been seen before or done in a different way. I did put together a list and I shared it on LinkedIn and some other social media outlets, which goes into this a bit more detail. But the three things that I look for mainly are, is it fun? Is it real life applicable? Are there any CTF elements in? And if so, we're probably not going to use it. We try to avoid any sort of unnecessary brute forcing. But yeah, it's quite a difficult one to answer that in a few minutes, because there's so much criteria that goes into it.
Maybe we can go in detail in an EMEA, as we said. So, but yes, I think to be unique, to be more realistic, because we get accused that sometimes we're too CTF-y, or that it has a lot of guessing, and to be like fresh content, that something that the community hasn't seen.
That's right, yeah.
Another question is, are the Academy accounts separated? Because you did a mention about the Academy. Are the Academy accounts separate from the normal HTB accounts? So someone that is in Hack the Box is also in Academy? This is what they ask.
Yeah, so quite simply, to sign up to Academy, you will need to sign up again. Okay, so if you go to academy.hackthebox.eu, you will have to register another account.
Awesome. And the other question that we have is, as a beginner, what should we tackle first, or what should we do in master first before we move on to the Active Directory in depth?
As a beginner, beginner Active Directory machines on the platform, there are quite a few easy Active Directory themed machines. So the focus of this presentation was a machine that I created called Sauna, which is available to VIP customers, VIP Plus customers. Feel free to use the techniques used in this presentation to own the box. We've got some beginner AD modules on Academy, but essentially just having a fundamental understanding of Active Directory before sort of making any deep dives would be my recommendation. Nice.
I saw also Makelaris is bombing also the DM box with some very, very good questions. Perfect. So, but this one is very good. Are we expecting any AD in the Uni CTF tomorrow? Abdullahi, I think we showed previously the challenge types. Maybe you say this because you were at the finals last year, that we have some AD hacking stuff, but we do not for the qualification round at least. And I will pick one question from Makelaris. What's your craziest AD hacking story you may have?
It's not something that I can share publicly. Sorry, Mac.
Okay, awesome. And what else? No, I think we are okay. For now, we do not have any other questions. Sorry, I have one more from Discord. So does Dante, the prolab that you have created, is related at all to AD hacking or is about AD hacking?
There are some elements of Active Directory in Dante. It's not the focal point of the lab though. We've got some really awesome Active Directory labs on the platform already. So offshore Raster labs and cybernetics all feature Active Directory really heavily. So it wasn't it wasn't front and center of my design choices when putting together Dante. There are a couple of Active Directory machines in there, but it's not the main focus of the lab.
Awesome. I think that we have covered all questions, and we do not have any more to do. We will jump on a short break. Thank you very much, Shaun, for your time. Thank you for also all your effort you did on this presentation, on the CTF delivery in general, and thank you very much for everything and for being awesome. So that is all. We are going to go for a quick break till our next presentation, and our next one is Arjen Wiersma from NOVI Hogeschool. I don't know if I pronounced correctly because it's in Dutch. He's a professor in a Netherlands university. He's also Hack the Box ambassador. He's doing the Hack the Box meetups in Netherlands, although they're done in English, so anyone can join them, and they are live stream on YouTube. So make sure to join them because they have awesome fun talks. We will talk about that later, and he will share how you can create a cybersecurity curriculum with Hack the Box platform. So if you're a professor, you can pitch up his idea, or if you are a student, you can share what Arjen is doing for his students, so you can have it also for your cybersecurity training. That is all from us. Thank you very much, all of you. And hello all, hello again. And now we are going to move on to our next presentation from Arjen Wiersma from I will not try to pronounce it again. I will let Arjen do his magic. So, hello Arjen, nice to have you here.
Hello, thank you very much.
Also, AKA, because all of us share our nicknames, Greta for Novi, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Arjen is a Hack the Box ambassador. He's doing meetups, as I said, for Hack the Box Netherlands. All of them are focused to different topics. It's time with Hack the Box machine challenges, etc. We also give out some swag, some VIP, some things like that.
Yes.
Throughout those meetups, because we want to really thank you for your work, Arjen, and we want to thank the community that is engaged and is coming, and it's like your server is becoming massive. Your group, I have seen it. Yes.
Yes.
And
we have a huge community already, so.
And I don't know what else to say. I think maybe we are ready to start on your presentation. Adding it to that here. Yeah. And let's get started. I'm leaving you to your audience, Arjen. The stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Welcome everybody from me as well. I'm fully dressed in Hack the Box swag, as Sochi already said. So today I'm going to talk to you about my journey into building a cybersecurity curriculum. First, who am I? This is me just before Corona, and this is me during Corona. I decided not to shave that much, and so now I have a beard. My name is Arjen Wiersma. Most people know me as CredMP, and on Hack the Box I'm CredMP for NOVI. That is because I am a lecturer and I head up the cybersecurity division, or faculty, I should say, at NOVI. We're a university of applied science. So I head up the entire department, and I make sure that every cybersecurity aspect of our educational program is top-notch. My history, however, is not in education. It is in software development. I've, since somewhere in 1900 something, the gray in my beard should tell you something. I've been making software, and then for the last 10 years or so, I've been doing in-company pen testing. So I've had a lot of experience with looking at security from a software point of view. And I decided to actually switch my career from I'm breaking stuff to teaching people how to break stuff. I found it more rewarding. So now I am a lecturer. So as Sochi already said, I do a lot within our community. I try to engage the community as much as possible. So I have a Dutch Hack the Box meetup. I've been doing 8 of them for now. We have one every single month. So we had one last night. And Sochi already said, lots of varying topics. We have community members presenting. We have topics like OSWE, but we also had egress talk about content delivery on Hack the Box itself. So it's quite fun, and we're open for everybody. We're a Dutch Hack the Box meetup, but until we can do physical meetups again, everybody's very welcome. And even in a physical meetup, if you want to travel and have a good time in the Netherlands, you're welcome. Through the Hack the Box meetups, I've also become an ambassador to Hack the Box. I believe it's a very good platform for educational purposes. So I embrace that role and try to speak the gospel of Hack the Box as much as possible. During all my time in security, I have also become a fan of Capture the Flag events. So much so that I actually created an event for this year. It's actually in December. It's called the Advent of CTF. It basically is one CTF challenge per day for every day in December until Christmas. So you don't have to get bored while you wait for Christmas to come around. So if you want to participate, it is very low key. It is just a scoreboard and challenges. You can look it up on adventofctf.com. And I also have a Twitter on which I tweet about security-related things and privacy-related things, and a Twitter for Advent of CTF. So if you want to know about the things that are coming on, be sure to follow it. nice detail is that for every day that you solve a challenge, you will get a unique badge and that you can share on socials. So far the community, like I said, I work for NOVI University. We're dead smack in the center of that yellow circle in the Netherlands. We are a private university of applied sciences, and that means that we don't have a lot of students. We have about 900 students, but they're all focused on ICT. Most of them already active in a work field, but they want to upgrade their skills, or they need a bachelor degree or something like that. And they come to us to actually get good quality education. And within the cybersecurity division or faculty within the university, I offer them two paths. The first is to take a bootcamp, as we call it, to become an ethical hacker. That means that within a 6-month period, I train you to become a junior pen tester or somebody who can access the field of security. And the other, where most people also end up in, is to do the full bachelor degree. The full bachelor degree has many more topics than just the cybersecurity thing, but the cybersecurity part of it is about 1.5 years. So it's quite substantial. And today I want to show or tell about the cybersecurity curriculum that I built for NOVI. I think it's quite unique in the sense that it is very connected to the community and to the intrinsic values that we have as a community, where we solve puzzles and do stuff like that. So to get a sense of my building of this curriculum, a timeline, I decided to join NOVI at one point, and then I actually started on April 1st, 2019. And the first day I got to work, they told me, or my director told me, he said, well, we have some really great ideas. We talked about it during your hiring process, but we have decided that we will do a university-wide start of the boot camps in May 2019. So all the other faculties that normal in ICT faculties and the software development faculty, they would start a bootcamp. And for cybersecurity, ethical hacking, we would also want to have a bootcamp next month. If you have ever done any development in the educational sphere, you would know that that is lightning speed. Even more so if you know that my next deadline would be September 2020 to start with a full CS curriculum. So I did what anybody would do in my shoes, and I did several iterations, and we actually started a bootcamp, and we are also now running the full curriculum. And how do you start with building something like this? It might seem quite daunting. NOVI already had some courses on information security, which only talked about the CIA triangle, basic information security policies and laws and regulations. So it was not very entertaining for the technical minded. So my director told me, you know what, you have a greenfield design, you can do whatever you want as long as we have a curriculum that we can run. And that is awesome, but also very daunting, because it puts a big load on your shoulders. But then again, my interests were in this field, my experience were here. So I thought, what are the things that I know? What are my personal interests? Infrastructure security. I love infrastructure. We can talk for hours, and 20 minutes is not enough to talk about it. But I have my OSCP. I love the entire process, and I love the infrastructure security that we have within Hack the Box. Web application security. I have been a developer for a very long time, mostly focused on web applications and backend services. So I love web applications and how you can break them. And next to that, I am fully in love with reverse engineering. I'm actually a certified instructor for Kaspersky's malware reverse engineering course. So these three things are the things that I can dream about, and I can talk for many, many hours about it. So that's where I started, but that's not enough to actually build a curriculum. Right? There's much more to be told to the students so that they can get a broad view and a well-funded base for a future career. So where do you look? Well, there's people with guiding lights, luckily, and most notably, I leaned a lot on the ACM IEEE guidelines for cybersecurity, for cybersecurity education. It's a it's a hefty document, basically, in which many experts around the world from different universities, from different companies have weighed in and decided what a well-rounded, thought about educational process should look like in the future. So I decided to implement that future. It is basically divided in two things, which are like dead giveaways. One is the organizational part of security, and the other one is the technical part of security. From an organizational point of view, you cannot have a lot of security without having the technical part dealt with correctly, and the same the other way around. You cannot have a very well-rounded technical implementation of security without having the organization to back that up. So I decided to split up our curriculum in two parts, one organizational and one technical. For now, in this presentation, we'll leave the organizational part out of it. It's mostly policies and stuff like that. So we'll talk about it in short later. So in the end, I created a program, and this is where you will find overlap with things you can do in Hack the Box quite easily. First, whenever people start our curriculum, they will go into their first year, which is logical, and they go into an introduction program next to the learning how to learn type of programs. The basic cybersecurity program that teaches you about information security, how that CII triangle works, and what laws and regulations there are, and what you should and should not do as a ethical person. And then we step into the technical part, infrastructure. What is a network? What are machines on network? How do you scan them? What can you learn? This is where you see the Hack the Box link, of course. And that we tie together with a basic course in pen testing. They are actually given intermixed so that students will actually learn the basics of pen testing, about making good notes, writing proper documentation, reporting, while they're actually working on their challenges in for instance, the lab. So they close out this introduction program, and then in the next year, they go into the advanced program. It has two tracks. One is the technical part and one is the organizational part. And you could even choose to actually do one track combined with something like a backend design or development track. And then you have something of a cybersecurity and software development combination. But we have two tracks. The technical part has 6 courses. First, reverse engineering. What is software? How does it run? And more better, how can you look at it and determine what it actually does without knowing anything about it? Then these are the techniques that students need to actually go further and explore the world of cybersecurity. We would not be a modern curriculum without a look at mobile and IoT, because everybody has a mobile phone. We all have embedded devices in our home. So we teach our students how to look at those devices, take them apart, get into the software, and maybe emulate the entire device so that you can look at what it does and find vulnerabilities in software that is running on a device that you normally would not know about. And generally, we put a lot of trust in these devices, right? As software might not always be written with the right intentions, it happens. We also have a course in malware analysis, which focuses on the safe evaluation of software. Anything that is foreign to you, you might not want to trust. So you need some good skills to make that a safe environment, as well as deal with things like encryption, encoding, obfuscation, and any other anti-analysis techniques. We have a lot of the challenges from Hack the Box as well that have featured these techniques, so good sources of training. Next three are tightly related. Web application security, of course, one of my favorite topics, in which we explore the world of software on the web and see how we can find vulnerabilities in them, from PHP's type juggling to template injection to SQL injections in various forms. You name it, we have it. Our students generally will have some form of background in which they have done stuff with web applications. So it's a very engaging topic. Next to that, we've created something called API security, modern API security, because everything is based on APIs now. So we decided to focus on it to give a good understanding of how the modern web works. And now that they've found vulnerabilities in mobile and IoT and binary software and web applications, we also teach them how to write proper exploits, not just simple proof concepts, but to actually make something that can be reused by other security people. So that's our technical track. Organizational, I'll run to it really quick. The first three deal about threats, how you know there are threats, how to get information about them, and if a threat becomes an issue, there's an incident, how to deal with that. And the last three courses deal about how you would make your organization aware and increase your security posture. So that's very well-rounded, complete program. And if you've been paying attention to the technical parts and you've been playing in Hack the Box, you'll see a lot of overlap. So how do I make students successful? That's the question. We have the program, but how are they successful? Because if you just read about it, you'll never really understand. So what I choose to do, I say, my main goal as a teacher is to explain a concept and reinforce that concept by giving you tasks to actually learn how things work. But doing something which has a known outcome and has known steps does not make you understand it fully. So we highly push for experimentation under students so that they understand what it means to have something like a cross-site scripting or an XML external entities or infrastructure things. And how do we do that? Well, this is where Hack the Box comes in. We have challenges. We use the challenges from Hack the Box, or we use our own challenges, like the ones for Advent of CTF. We highly depend on the boxes on Hack the Box. And I give them unstructured assignments, which means that I give them some fake instructions. Maybe you should look at this. And then in the end, they come up with some form of report or result and say, like, well, we did what we thought that you would want, and this is our result. And then we have a very interesting discussion as to why they did what they did. But they will fully understand the topic. So that's my concept. But yeah, so I created a curriculum. I have a theory of how to teach students, but I needed tools. I needed a lot of tools. I needed machines. I needed challenges. And I've already been saying that we've been using Hack the Box, of course. And I needed a platform, and I had the choice of building my own platform or reusing something that already exists. Given the limited time, but also building something takes a lot of money, I decided, no, I'm not going to do that. The thing that I was doing was playing on Hack the Box and basically taking the concepts and using it to further my own understanding. So I decided, well, I'll call Hack the Box and see if they can help me. So luckily, Nikos, who will be presenting afterwards, said, well, don't worry, we got you. And I have been using Hack the Box in my curriculum ever since May 2019, in which we now have quite a huge base of students that actually use it. And why? How do we do this? Well, we use something called a dedicated lab. Katerina will actually talk about it in the last presentation, I believe. But the dedicated lab, as I explained it to my students, is our own version of Hack the Box. If you have VIP, you can just spawn up machines, but you can do one at a time. You can be in a free lab and then have the joy of having fellow InfoSec people DDoS a machine and you are just struggling to get your foothold. In a dedicated lab, I can just say, like, I want these 10 machines or these 5 machines, and nobody else but my students will be on it. I personally have a curated list of topics per machine. Recently, Hack the Box introduced tracks, which is basically the same concept. We have a topic and there's machines. So every time I discuss a concept with my students, I add these machines to the lab and they can actually try and experiment with these machines to find out how this concept works. And more importantly for them, I have specific assignments. So I put a picture of Arkham in this presentation. And Arkham is a really nice machine, well executed, and you could. One of the really neat things is that it has a deserialization step in the exploit chain. And that means that a student will need to do something with deserialization. And normally you would just go like, download YSOSerial, run YSOSerial with the proper parameters, run it, and I have a shell. But my students are not allowed to do that. What they are allowed to do is examine how it works, but they need to write their own exploit. So the exploit code writing part of their course is tested there. They need to understand the concept in order to make an exploit, to find the exploit and make it. And that means that they spend a lot more time working on it, but they fully understand what is going on. So that's an awesome way to deal with these type of things. And the beauty of using Hack the Box is that I don't need to fully invest myself in exploring new topics like IoT devices or IoT, Windows IoT. There's a really nice IoT machine currently active, Omni it's called. It became active. We used it in our courses so that they could explore this new thing, and I don't need to do it myself. So all that said, at the end of the day, students need to do stuff to prove that they can actually work the things that they have done. Currently, we grade outside the lab. That's not my intended future, but that's the reality of how it is now. Then we use the lab as a means to understand concepts. We use it to practice, and we use it to have a good time and yell at each other for getting more points than the other one. But grading is not part of that yet. For the basic program or the introduction program, the students perform a pen test, which is now at companies or friends companies, stuff like that. So some students don't have real environments to do it in. But my future would be that they will get an environment that they connect to, special machines that they get to test and write a report, and I will grade it based on that. So that way, Hack the Box will be in our entire system from the day that they start the cybersecurity curriculum all the way till the end. And then the advanced program, we will do a security assessment of an embedded system, like an IoT router, like we talked about. So wrapping it up, creating a cybersecurity curriculum from scratch is hard. It takes a lot of effort, and everything that you can do to make it easier, take it. The Hack the Box platform, Dedicated Labs, is an awesome platform to support it. My students really love it because it adds a bit of competition and it is very accessible. And I, as a teacher, love using it because, well, yeah, I can focus on my students and not so much on maintaining a platform. So with that, I would like to say thank you very much. Enjoy your CTF the coming days and have a very good time.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Arjen, for the insight and everything you shared. We have some very interesting questions from the community. So the first one that we'll start is, if you want to suggest a good academic book for someone that is starting now his cybersecurity academic career, or so if you suggested a book, what would that be?
Oh, well, there's so many topics to choose from. I think the thing that you would want is to learn how to think as a hacker. And if you want a book that has a lot of hands-on topics, there's a book called Becoming the Hacker. I don't know the name of the author at this time. I would choose that one. I think it has a lot of the topics from web applications to infrastructure and stuff like that. So it's very practical and hands-on. So I would go for that one, Becoming the Hacker.
Awesome. And another question that we have is that the organizational parts are more blue team related, while technical are more team related. Is there a way to balance that? Do you believe?
Well, yeah, there is, of course, the technical part is very offensive, organizational defensive. What is in between that is what we would call a system administrator type thing. What the blue team really does is to apply defensive concepts into infrastructure and software. And there is a good way to balance that, in the sense that if you have a good environment where you can do defensive things like hacking battlegrounds, for instance, if we look at the Hack the Box platform, you get to do defensive things while actually also being in part connected to the offensive part. We decided to do the offensive defensive split. Because if you know how to be offensive with technical measures, you can also translate that to defensive part. It's very difficult to do it from defensive to offensive because it's a different mindset.
You're right. I couldn't agree more. And I know it is a lot of time, like, for everything to even go from how things are in reality or in work environments and everything to how universities work and provide us training. So yes, for now, everything is, I know it's more on the red team and not so much technical on the blue team. And I understand what the user is saying about the balance, but I believe everything is going to get there. As Arjen said, battlegrounds are the best way to prove your blue skills with action.
For you, indeed.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Arjen, for your time. Yes. I hope the next meetups are also amazing. I hope the Advanced CTF rocks, and we are going to speak more soon. Bye, Arjen. Thank you very much.
Good luck, everybody.
Okay, so now we're going to a small break, and next we are going to have Nikos, or aka Nufu, for everyone that you maybe have replied to them or spoke to him through our info or through our Jira, or if you haven't done an interview with Hack the Box, because he's the guy. So yes, next one we have him with an amazing presentation on how to hack your cybersecurity career, about certifications, about training, about anything, and what are the best qualities he's looking at for candidates. So it will be a very helpful presentation for every one of you that is seeking a cybersecurity career. So we are going to a very small break, and we are back with Nifu. Bye, guys. Hello from me again. It was indeed a small break. So now I'm very excited to have here with me my dear and one of the best colleagues ever. Maybe I say this to all of my colleagues, but yes, Hackabox is almost like a family. This is Nikos, or Nifu, the head of operations. So greetings. So
hi guys. Hi Sotiria.
He's like one of the core member, like everyone of Hack the Box. He's the guy behind the support that you see in order to manage all the stuff, the HR. So, Nikos, what can you say? You dropped the ball with me, but you did an excellent job with the rest. I'm kidding. Yes, behind finance, behind a lot of stuff, behind also the support of the people of the company, as everyone in Hack the Box, I believe. I believe your talk is going to be very helpful for everyone joining today. And thank you very much for your time to make this presentation, and thank you very much for your time today.
Great. Can I start?
Of course, if you can share your presentation in order to attend the screen. Awesome.
Perfect. So, hi everyone. I'm Nikos Fountas. Sotiria made a very bold introduction of me. I'm the head of operations of business operations in Hack the Box and one of the very first proud members of this amazing team. Some of you already know me because I'm handling a lot of university registrations, replying to university emails, replying to the alias education at Hack the Box. And I think we've done an amazing job together. We've reached 450 universities enrolled in the platform. And today I'm very happy and excited to see that we have over 200 universities already participating in this Uni CTF, which is an iconic tournament, not only for you guys, but also for us. We're enjoying it maybe too much. Mainly because University CTF presents all the things that Hack the Box stands for. It's all about education, it's all about training, it's all about community, and of course, it's all about fun. So I strongly encourage you to leave competition aside and focus on the fun part of University CTF. Today, I wanted to touch on a very important topic that I know is something that you think more and more as you're close to graduation, especially the seniors and the postgraduates. How do I find a job in cybersecurity, and how do I actually break into my first cybersecurity job? We all have been there. We know how it is to end the university and looking for a job, and we all know how stressful it is. So the good news, and I think you already know that, is that cybersecurity is today most probably the most wanted occupation everywhere in the world. The growth rate of cybersecurity jobs is somewhere between 35 and 40% in all countries. Just in 2021, there were 3.5 million unfulfilled positions. If you just Google cybersecurity jobs, you will find 1.7 million results. All of the cybersecurity professionals, half of them have reported that they contacted weekly by recruiters. And there are more. By the end of 2021, all global 12,000 companies will have a CISO. And what I'm saying is that behind a CISO, there is a complete cybersecurity structure, which means that there are more security jobs, more focus on cybersecurity, more budget in cybersecurity, and more resources in cybersecurity. It's the highest paid and most recruited IT position in 2020 in USA. And just in India, for 2021, there's a need for 1 million professionals. I've put down this number because I know that we have a lot of universities and a great community in India. So greetings to our Indian friends, and of course, welcome to the entire globe which is participating in Hack the Box. So, apart from the good news, there are also some bad news. The bad news is that although there is a gap, although there are so many unfulfilled positions, people can't find a job in cybersecurity. They still fail in interviews, they still don't present a good match, and they still don't get a job. And this is basically what we call the skill gap. And there are a few reasons behind that. First of all, cybersecurity is not a job that you can find because you know someone who knows someone. There are no connections here. If you don't know what to do, you don't get the job. And sometimes the degrees are just not enough because you learn something, but you lack the practical knowledge. So the two, I would say, most important things in cybersecurity, of course, after you graduate and after your degree, of course, is to have knowledge and proven practical experience. That's what we are missing. And that's something that is not important only for pen testers or red teamers, but this is also important for sysadmins, for those who want to be security consultants, for software developers, DevOps, which is now DevSecOps, but also even for business managers. Sometimes they need to have some basic cybersecurity grasps. So I'm just gonna go on with a skill gap. What we call the skill gap is basically a good solution is to have no skill. No one can complain about the skill gap if there's no skill. But I'm sure that this is not exactly what you want to have. And that's basically why you've chosen to have a degree in or a master in cybersecurity in the first place. So probably you're already aware of it, and you probably want to sharp your knowledge and sharp your skill. So what can be done? I'm asked this question many, many times. I've put down just some recommendations. This is, by all means, this is not an exhaustive list, and this is not what you have to do. And after that, you have to find the job and then send me a message. Nikos, I couldn't find the job, although I followed your instructions. But what I recommend here is that you have to find additional resources and invest in continuous education. So this is quite important for everyone, and you have to be always alerted of finding new resources, follow new education. As we all know, the cybersecurity is basically an industry, a market that is ever evolving. There are new CVEs every day. There are new tools and techniques out there. There's so many things that you have to learn. Otherwise, you just keep being rusty. Secondly, and most important, you need to find hacking training labs, real life hacking training labs. Of course, we recommend Hack the Box training labs, but I'm sure that you can find also other platforms that have real life scenarios, real vulnerabilities created by practitioners, created by people who are in the industry. I'm getting a lot of complaints sometimes about that the Hack the Box boxes are, the easy Hack the Box boxes are not that easy. But what we're trying and what was our vision in Hack the Box was to create some realistic, real-life boxes that will help you upskill and find a job in cybersecurity. So the good labs are not the labs that makes you feel comfortable or the labs that makes you feel nice, but basically all the labs that push your limits, the labs that get you out of the comfort zone, the labs that have you in the internet for 5, 6, 7 hours looking for something. And then after hacking those boxes, you should be able to learn something new, to learn a new tool, a new technique. So third one, I urge you to do research and do discuss, do talk with people with similar passion. Unfortunately, we can't go in B-sides in a physical way, but we can attend virtual events, and this is an excellent opportunity to attend virtual events even in USA or everywhere in the world, from Asia, in Europe, literally everywhere, because everything is going virtual now. So do talk, do discuss, do the research, do attend to talks, and get new ideas. And the last one, of course, is always keep up with latest tools, latest techniques, read new articles, read new blogs, stay in the game, and be there. Because having a degree from 2019 might be not be the most important thing that you need to have in 2021. You need to always be keeping up and catching up with the latest tools and techniques. So basically, all these are the things that we had in mind when we created Hack the Box Labs. We wanted to create an environment where you can play, so it's not a typical strict laboratory environment, and ultimately learn and upskill. That was the vision that we had when we created Hack the Box. And as I explained before, we wanted to have the right boxes for the right audience. The gap that we have identified was actually the lack of practical knowledge. So this is one of the key reasons we created Hack the Box, because we want to give back to community some practical labs. And the key idea here is to get those labs from the community. So that's what we do in Hack the Box. I'm not going to go further on Hack the Box because I'm sure you already know what we do here. But it's worth mentioning about our new kit, Hack the Box Academy, which is actually for those who didn't like the self-paced learning, but they prefer to have the guided learning. So in the HTB Academy, we have included a lot of new modules that's spanning from easy to fundamental to easy, medium, and hard. And there you can have guided learning. You can learn new things, new techniques, and at the end of the course, you can pass a small challenge to prove your knowledge. So the good things with HTB Academy is that you don't have to crack your way in. It's a simple registration process. You just create your code, you get the modules, and I'm 100% sure that after you complete some fundamental or easy modules, it should be quite easy for you to hack your way in, to hack the box and play the challenges, the labs, the end games, and even pro labs, because as you probably already know, we have some also beginner-friendly pro labs now. Dante, the one that is created by egotisticalSW, Shaun, who presented an hour ago. So this was also a complementary product to our offering to help people closing the skill gap into cyber security. Now, one more service that you can browse and find in Hack the Box is basically the talent search. So when we created the talent search service in Hack the Box, we didn't have in mind to attract recruiters. But basically, we had in mind to help our community find a job in cybersecurity. This was quite useful and for our users, and it was also quite useful for recruiters and companies, because we've seen a lot of top-notch cybersecurity companies recruiting through Hack the Box. Not only because they can find the right guys because they are looking in a very passionate community, but also because they can see your profile in Hack the Box, they can see what you have done, and they can somehow understand your practical knowledge and your ability to crack real-life boxes. So at the moment, after almost 2 years in operation, we have over 70 companies actively looking for candidates in Hack the Box, and we have over 150 and 70 active jobs literally all over the world, from USA to Europe, Asia Pacific, UK, and Middle East. So basically, this service includes And this is actually what we offer to the companies, and this is how they find the right candidates. We offer to companies the ability to have a small branded mini page within Hack the Box. We give the ability to reach out to opted-in users. I will explain in 2 minutes what is the opted-in user. They can post job posts with rank restriction, meaning that if they're looking, for example, for a senior guy, they can rank restricted to omniscient or guru or hacker in Hack the Box. And this is another way to prove and find out if you have the right skill for the right job. And sometimes they can also add what we call company fortress or assessment labs. As I explained before, we have over 70 companies enrolled already. A nice and interesting use case is basically CNAC. CNAC is a California-based cybersecurity firm. Just to give you an example of how those guys recruit through Hack the Box. They recently got a very substantial amount, a very substantial fund of around $52 million, I think, and they are actively looking for new, passionate cybersecurity professionals. So they came to us. We discussed together how we can facilitate that, and we created together what we call the CNAC path. So basically, they ask for their future candidates to go through a certain path of challenges and machines that we created together, that we've built together. And at the end of this, they can apply to their recruitment system. We don't have any interaction with them. We don't know how many people they get from us, but they know that they passed the Hack the Box labs. And this is very important for them because they skip the whole assessment process, which is quite important for cybersecurity jobs. Moreover, they also said that if someone has passed the Offshore Pro Lab, which is another AD-related and quite challenging Pro Lab, I would say, they can also apply for their jobs. So that's just an example. We have also fortresses for some other companies like Akerva in France, Jet in USA, and many other companies. And soon you will see much more fortresses and much more tracks in that regard. So we see again, it's important not only for us, but also for the companies to understand that you've gone through specific boxes and you did what you had to do. So as a final call to action, I want to ask you to, if you are interested and if you are looking for a job, which I think it is the case for people who graduate today, to opt in Hack the Box platform, open your profile to recruiters. We don't share any personal information with them unless you accept the connection with them. So you just say, I wish to be contacted for career opportunities, then your username is available for reach out. They reach out to you, and only if you accept and if you are interested, then they get the personal information that is securely locked in your personal vault. This is something that we created again 2 years ago to preserve anonymity, to preserve personal information, but on the other side, we wanted to make those jobs available to our community. I think we have over 15,000 users who have already opted in and they wish to be contacted by career opportunities. We have, as Hack the Box, we have hired through our platform a lot of guys, especially in the content development, obviously because we know their content from their Hack the Box journey. And I know for a fact many other companies who have recruited content developers, software developers, security engineers through Hack the Box. That would be it for today. I hope I wasn't my presentation wasn't too tiring. Feel free to reach out to me through info@hackthebox.eu.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Keep sending me emails. You see me distracted sometimes because people keep sending me emails and Slack channels, but it's okay. That's a day in operations of Hack the Box. Thank you very much, Sotiria.
Thank you very much for your time, Nikos. It was an awesome presentation. We had some very, very, very interesting questions for you today. Oh, that is a hard one. Okay, but I want you to answer it. Okay, so what are the top qualities you look for a candidate while you're recruiting it?
That's a very interesting question. This is the hard question that you mentioned. Okay. I'm mostly...
Okay. Okay, I can ask you something about cybernetics.
Well, I'll tell you, for me, there are two important things in an interview that I value. The first one is that we're looking for passionate people. Especially in Hack the Box, you got to be passionate. Otherwise, you cannot keep up with the pace that we work here, with the pace that we expand, and the pace we work. So you have to be passionate about what you do, whatever you do. It could be I'm building a challenge, or it could be I'm replying to a billing email. We want everyone to be passionate about Hack the Box and what they do. So I can safely assume that this is a quite important quality for everyone, because everyone wants to have engaged and passionate employees. The second thing that I'm always looking is for people when they speak about something, and especially in cybersecurity, when they speak about something, I want them to know this topic. So we have many cases where people are just trying to show off, and they just throw some terms and some ideas in an interview, assuming that the HR guy wouldn't have a clue about cybersecurity. And then they found out that someone in the panel is indeed a cybersecurity professional, and he or she came back with a difficult question. So when you open a discussion and when you throw a topic terminology, be sure that you know what you're saying and know what you're doing.
Okay. So let's go to the next question. I'm going to pick one that we have from the YouTube that I just picked up. So I will sum it up because it's a very big question. So a lot of people blindly follow write-ups and videos. Well, of course, we all see the videos every Saturday from IPSEC and every tutorial that comes up. But the question, I believe, it is how do you advise new players, especially university students, against them just following blind tutorial and really understand what they're doing, if you have a recommendation towards that?
Well, I think that in life there are no silver linings. So I'm not sure that this is the right direction or this is the wrong direction. What I would suggest as Nikos is that just keep your hacking mentality. Try to find the way without looking at your videos or without getting the tutorials too easy. But when you feel that this is something that is beyond your knowledge, then yes, go to tutorial, read them, search on Google, go to write-up, check the video, and learn. So these boxes is not only about competition. No one will ask you, okay, how you did it. And that's why we give the write-ups and the videos for all the retired machines. Because, okay, when you are stuck, yes, go to the tutorial, check the write-up, and find the answer. But after that, do some research about it. Don't just follow what they say, do it, and that's it. The box should be just the tip on the iceberg of a complete research that you need to do in a specific topic.
Nice, very nice reply, Nikos. I think you said it pretty much the best way possible. You cannot start without knowing anything. You have to see something, but when you see something, you have to understand it and practice it and try alternative ways and anything else. So we are going to go to the next question. So Nice. Do you have a success story from someone utilizing the Hack the Box platform, career-wise, or a Hack the Box career, like anything?
I can think of one, yes. I think Egotistical is a nice success story. Basically, all the guys in content and content delivering have been passionate and active users of Hack the Box, but Egotistical is a good story because he has been omniscient in Hack the Box for quite some time. When we opened the job for content delivery, he applied through Hack the Box. We had a couple of friendly discussions after that. We met through Hack the Box. And now he is our content delivery manager. He has a full department. He has so many responsibilities in Hack the Box. We even allowed him to make a presentation in this awesome CTF. So yes, that's a nice story. But I can tell exactly the same for all the content guys, basically, because everyone is in content was an active and a great user of Hack the Box. I can also tell you about some developers that we have that we also met through Hack the Box. And I think that, I'm not sure about it, but I think that even the founders, James and Harris, met through Hack the Box. So that's the whole beauty of Hack the Box. That is a nice community that we meet, we exchange ideas, we exchange topics, and at the end of the day, maybe we cooperate, we work together, either in our company or we work together in another project.
Nice. And another question we have from Shaun that you just mentioned. What is your best meme? Okay, this is an inside joke because Nikos is inside Hack the Box, the meme lord. Like, because maybe sometimes he doesn't reply, he's a silent guy, but when he would reply, he will do it with the funniest meme that you will ever search. So if you have a best one that you want to share or explain, or the case that you used it, in order, to share a little bit of a background of Hack the Box, what happens behind the scenes.
Well,
but the meme lord,
obviously, I haven't prepared for this question, and I haven't had the meme ready to show you, because otherwise they would think that this is a stage question. But the funny story is that one of my favorite memes is the one that Arjen used in his previous talk. The guy with the baby who is successful, and he's like, yes, we're using it a lot in Hack the Box. And overall, yeah, we're using a lot of memes. There is a good culture. We're trying to be playful and hacking, like our platform. On the other side, just for those who want to apply for Hack the Box, we're also working, and we're also doing an amazing job. That's why we release, I don't know how many labs every week and how many features in V2 every week. So there's so many things. And of course, the academy that we launched just recently, there's so many things that are going on in Hack the Box, and we have to be funny, and we have to play with memes. Otherwise, it would be very, very difficult to survive, I would say.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We have another question, but we think we are out of time, but Shaun said we will take, if you want to reply it very fast, if you want to share like 2-3 comments, the top recommendations you can do to someone starting right now into hacking, like someone that is an absolute noob, he just heard the word hacking, what is the first thing he should do, or she should do, of course?
Academy.hackthebox.eu, I would say. I would do that because I'm a business majoring. I'm not an IT professional, so I would start with Academy. But if you are already in a degree in master or a master in cybersecurity, then I think cracking the invite code and solving easy and medium boxes in Hack the Box wouldn't be that difficult. So it's actually both. I cannot say about other platforms, of course, but I think that Hack the Box and Hack the Box Academy cover all you need.
Awesome. Yes, that's true.
Someone said in YouTube, shameless self-promotion, but we can't say about anyone else in the Hack the Box University CTF.
Yeah, well, I want to say that because we said about the stories and everything. I met with the Hack the Box people and everything through Hack the Box as a player myself. So sometimes, I know you will not believe that, but it's not about promoting a brand or promoting a family or something. It's promoting something that you really believe in, and you would do it either way. So that is why you're so big advocate sometimes. So thank you very much, Nikos, for your time. We're going to go to a very short break because we are ready for our next talk by Kat, our business development manager, also a cyber lady, a fellow lady in cyber, that she will share on how to advance your courses in a gamified way using the Hack the Box services. Thank you very much, Nikos. We're going on a short break and we are back with the awesome Kat. Bye.
Thank you and good luck. Bye.
Hello all, hello again. We are back with Kat, Katerina. I told you it's going to be a very short break. Katerina, Kat, thank you very much for joining. Oh my God, I haven't seen you forever due to the lockdown. Yes, Ikat is our awesome business development manager over in UK. She's also a fellow lady in cyber. She was a pen tester and she was doing then incident response for a company. And she's very funny. And she is one of the best, no, I say this for everyone, the best colleague, but okay. So yes, Ikat, the stage is yours. You can share with the community everything that you want to share today. And let's get cracking.
So thanks, guys. My name is Katerina Tasiopoulou, or Kat for short. And as Sotiria said, I'm the business development manager for Hack the Box and was also a mega CTF player a couple of years back in my hacking days. So I'm very, very excited about this event. And thank you for listening to this last and one of the best talks before the CTF officially begins tomorrow. In this speech, I'll have a deep dive into our dedicated labs. It's awesome for you guys to see a new product, see what else Hack the Box does outside, you know, the community-oriented realm that you're all familiar with. So, okay, screen sharing the presentation, perfect. So what we will discuss in today's presentation is how Hack the Box, specifically our dedicated labs, can be utilized as part of university or academic programs to enhance courses, bring value to students in order to, and you know, this is the most important aspect that we've discussed in so much detail today, in order to get you guys industry ready. So this speech is oriented a little bit more towards the academic staff, but it is great if we also have students on the call. It is the final talk. Your feedback is always appreciated. And it would be great if you could pass this on to your department, persuade your department, and it's hopefully something you like and you would envision yourselves using one day. Also, it is one of the prizes for the first team, having a 6-month dedicated labs. So it's just interesting to have a look at what these are. So before we get right into the topic, I just wanted to quickly share some numbers with you guys on Hack the Box's, you know, industry presence. So we currently have a massive community of over 440,000 members. You guys are part of it, so thank you very much. And we're one of the largest hacking communities in the world. Moreover, we have over 800 organizations that are using us to train their employees, making us very renowned in the industry. And this is very, very important, something we'll get back to later on, because as we mentioned, we're trying to get you guys industry ready. And most importantly, we have over 400 universities currently using Hack the Box to complement their courses. And I'm sure you guys know we're very community oriented. As an organization, we believe being able to support the education industry, being able to help nurture these skills, being able to help create the future cybersecurity talent is very, very important as an objective. Now, going to this security training topic, I wanted just to quickly share with you how the security training industry has transformed in general from what we see. And we do understand that a university wants to prepare their students to be able to get a job as soon as they have graduated, having provided them that foundation to build their career through their degree. We just heard a lovely talk about Nico and how you guys can do that. But all of us in Hack the Box are industry specialists. That's one of our differentiators. We've worked as pen testers, incident responders, consultants, you name it. And like I mentioned, we do train over 800 organizations. So we see loads of patterns in the training industry, and they're definitely applicable to the academic sector as well. So the first shift we see is from classroom to online training, particularly visible now with the pandemic and the work from home shifts, but also in general. It's very important to be able to remotely access an environment and have continuous training, as an assignment, for example. The new generation is so heavily reliant on technology, so having online capabilities is very, very important. The second shift we've seen is from theoretical to practical training, particularly in our industry, which is so highly technical in nature. Practical experience is necessary. It's important in hardening your skills, necessary in teaching specific skills like coding or pen testing, and of course it's indispensable in getting students industry ready. So theoretical training is still important, very good initiator to the theoretical aspects of the topics we're learning, but practical training should be combined. And to be honest, a lot of roles out there in terms of hiring, they even require technical knowledge. Even starting from the hiring stage, we see a lot of technical assessments recently. So, there was this LinkedIn post I saw recently from a CTO, which said that when he entered the industry, his certifications were what got him in through the door, but his skills and his experience is what kept him in the room. And there's this whole debate about certifications versus experience. Both are necessary. Certifications are your university degree, but a big differentiator is if you can also provide students with experience. Not experience in consulting, but experience in being able to technically understand environments, have a grasp on security tools, understand security postures, and more. So these are the real skills that they'll probably use even from day one. And the last shift, a little bit more applicable to businesses, is having that 1 to 2 ongoing training, having that continuous environment that is constantly updating. Security is continuously changing. Vulnerabilities are changing, tools are changing, so we must also stay on top of that and change ourselves when we're teaching. Now, trying to align with these challenges, this is the last boring theoretical slide. We've identified some challenges that some universities face trying to align with these trends in training. The first is that developing an in-house lab and continuously updating this internal lab is very costly and timely. Having to continuously find, update content, align it to your course, it's very difficult. And professors are very busy, as they are. At least that's what my professors told me every time I asked for a meeting. So being able to customize a lab and have something ready for you is a lot nicer. The second aspect is being able to have visibility of your lab environments, monitor progress. That's almost impossible with typical online lab environments, but it's very, very important to be able to identify our students' strengths, their weaknesses, understand what areas they need more support in as a whole, understand their utilization of the environment. And lastly, it's keeping students engaged. Very difficult. Professors are very familiar with this, but training is generally changing to adapt to this, with gamification elements, for example. So this concept is around finding new ways to make the new generation of students engaged with their cybersecurity courses, especially the technical parts. So we address all these challenges by creating the ultimate training environment that solves all these pain points. And of course, it's dedicated labs. This is not a demo, so I'll try my best to describe what these labs are. So dedicated labs are training lab environments dedicated and isolated to your university. So this over here is a partial print screen of the admin's dashboard. And in our dedicated labs, we have over 200 machines. We grow this pool on a monthly basis. And these machines reflect real life challenges on multiple security disciplines. For example, web categories, latest CVEs, cryptography, machines on Windows, machines on Linux, machines from beginners to the most advanced, machines that our content team works daily to create, such as Shaun. So you have the flexibility to customize this training lab for your students. So you can select machines from this whole available pool and spawn them in your lab. For example, if you guys are focusing on cryptography for a term, you can spawn all the cryptography machines, starting from very easy, slowly increasing the difficulty. So you can tailor the lab to your courses very, very easily. So the labs do come commercially in different tiers, I'll mention later on, but we also have the ability to allow you guys to create your own machines if you want, something completely custom for your course. And from this entire pool of machines, we have two types of machines. And I know if you guys are Hack the Box players and usually you know what these two types are, the active and retired machines. We have 20 active machines at a time, and we retire 4 every month where they join the retired pool. The only difference is that retired machines have guidance, both video and written, from ourselves and from the community to help students with learning, not just testing their skills. Of course, we do recognize there's not only one way to solve a problem. There's not only one solution to a challenge. And hence, we have community write-ups as well, which are getting ideas from other people's perspectives, other people's experience, other people's use of tools. And that's honestly a hidden gem. They're very, very important to be able to read other people's point of view when approaching a challenge. And of course, we also have the active machines, which are an additional challenge for your students because the write-ups have not been released yet. However, we also have another category of machines, which is a little secret because they're only available to dedicated lab customers, and these are called exclusive machines. The full list is not here. This pool also grows monthly, but there are write-ups and guidance available for these, but only for the admin, not the students. So these machines have not been seen anywhere else on the platform, and they're typically used for assessment purposes. So as a lecturer, if you'd like to set a coursework, for example, you can set one of these because the write-ups, you have them, so you're able to grade them, but the students do not have them available to them. Going back to the main dashboard, you can also view your user analytics, as I said. So we can have visibility of our students' progress, time they spent connected to machines. Very, very important element. Like I said, typically you cannot get it with training lab environments, but we believe it's very, very important to be able to have visibility of what's happening in the lab. And you can export a report, see users' engagement, time connected to machines, etc., and understand their usability and their engagement. In terms of lab access, again, very, very easy. You can manage your lab as easy as managing the machines. So just to elaborate, each lab comes with 10 user seats by default, and each additional user after that can be added on top on an ad hoc basis. However, the users are rotatable. So seats are not tied to individual accounts, making it easy to rotate students around. For example, when a term ends, when a course ends, when a semester ends, you can easily just swap the students over. Admins do not take up user space, so we can have multiple faculty members as admins. We also have the ability to add something called moderators, which are users with some admin functionality. So in other words, lab management is very easy and it can be tailored to multiple use cases. Another element we've introduced, and I'm sure you guys know it as a community, is Palmbooks. And this is helpful for 3 things. 1, students don't need to download virtual machines to be able to get access to the lab. We appreciate not everyone may have the right hardware for it, for example. So we've introduced an online Linux distribution with Parrot operating system where you can enter the lab and have access to all the tools from your browser. And this is called Palmbooks. This is a little bit of what it looks like. The second way you can use this is with spectator links. So for example, faculty members, professors can create spectator links, send them to the students and use it for live teaching. So anything they do in the lab will be visible to the students real time. Or vice versa, students can create spectator links and share them with professors. So professors can have visibility on what students are doing. Maybe during assessments, this might be useful for the professor, not the students. Or if you need remote support, for example. Next is a dedicated Hall of Fame. So internally in your class, if you have a dedicated lab, you're going to have a scoreboard just for you, just for your class, which is very, very fun in terms of gamification, some healthy competition going on there, trying to reach the top of the leaderboard. Potentially some additional incentives can be introduced by the departments here. But we also have the ability to drill into individual student profiles and see their achievements. So it helps the professor understand experience level, performance, engagements. But most importantly, and I honestly believe this is very, very important, is that these achievements remain with the personal profile of the students. So the skills they learn, they rank, they achieve, is tied to the individual accounts. So anything they achieve during the dedicated lab, during the course, they still have to showcase afterwards. And this is very important for visibility in the community. As Nico said, we do have a career subdivision in the platform, helping companies hire through Hack the Box. But in general, we are present in so many organizations out there helping train staff. So we are well known in the industry. So being able to go to an employer and showcase your achievement, your ranks, or even continuously grow them after your university or after your course, it's very, very important. So as a university, it's another gift you can give to your students, some further, something more tangible alongside their degree that they can take and showcase after their course. And as I mentioned, just quickly, there are different tiers available. The advanced, the middle one, is the one most universities go with, just because it allows you to have the user monitoring, so monitoring the students in the lab. That's the main difference. Or with enterprise, the last tier, you can also add custom machines. So lastly, as a summary, why dedicated labs for universities? A, operational flexibility. It's an isolated environment. You can customize the training you want your students to focus on. B, user analytics. We have visibility on students, their utilization, their strengths, their weaknesses, very useful metrics for the whole course in general, I think. And lastly, the range of machines, a broad spectrum of machines. Our students will learn to utilize so many different resources and tools. And these resources and tools provide skills that reflect real-world demand. So they will take these skills and they will definitely apply it in their jobs, like I said, even from day one. Gamification, user engagement, and we honestly believe that creating this, fun training environment is very effective in terms of learning and practicing. So hopefully these points address the initial problem statements that we mentioned, and hopefully you can see the value through them and how easy it would be to involve dedicated labs in your courses. We also saw the speech from Professor Arjen on how he's using dedicated labs in his current course, which again illustrates this beautifully on how it could fit in. So thank you very much for listening. If you do have any questions or would like a demo of these labs, a week's trial access, or more information, a brochure that talks a little bit more about the commercials, the logistics, please reach out to myself or the sales team. Being in the academic realm, we do have special academic pricing for all unis. And likewise, if you're a student, it would be awesome if you could pass this on to your academic department. An on-demand copy of all these video sessions today will be made available, I think, on this YouTube channel after all the talks are over. And of course, like I said, the winning team will get 6-month dedicated lab access for 10 users, which is a great prize. And I hope after seeing this, you can really, really see the value of this lab. So that's it. Thanks again.
Thank you very much, Katerina, for your time. I believe it was a very, very, very helpful presentation in order also for the community to understand how they can utilize Hack the Box as much as possible to make their training the most fun. We have some excellent questions, so it's question time. So get ready. We are going to go with the first one. What are the benefits of dedicated labs compared to VIP labs? Compared to VIP?
Of course. So the dedicated labs, the whole aspect around it is that it's your training environment. It's something that you have control over, entirely customizable. Of course, like we said, you have exclusive machines. You have the ability to add your users, dedicated scoreboard. So it really depends what you want to use it for. So for VIP, they're all, individual different accounts. It's not one collective environment where you can customize your training. So it just depends on the use case of what you're using it for.
Awesome. And the next question, let me find, okay, there is. Are these labs used mostly by bachelor or master students and professors?
So We recommend both. There is no typical use case just because the labs cater for has so much content in there, like I mentioned, from the most beginner content to more advanced. So it would be suitable for all levels of courses. And that's completely up to the professor to utilize it throughout the university curriculum. So it can be for both bachelor's and master's.
Awesome. And let me find another one. This, I believe it was answered during your presentation, but of course it's good to pitch it again. So if someone wants to create something custom for their curriculum, is something possible? Is something that we have done in the past?
Yeah, of course. So like I mentioned, we do have a tier that allows you to upload your own custom content, but we also have an awesome content delivery team, which is always happy to hear requests and support you guys. If you do have something that you want help with creating, we could definitely discuss that and create that for you in your lab.
And I want to say here, because I remember, because it's a very, it happened like not more than a month ago, that a university, in order, to do their end of year exams, instead of doing like a little course or anything, they did a CTF with Hack the Box. They asked, like, this is the curriculum. Yeah, this is that. Can you create it? And they did a CTF. So, and I believe it was very fun after the feedback they got and the prizes and anything. Like, everyone got very hyped and excited. So it is a nice opportunity to use.
We do good CTFs, don't we?
we do love the CTFs. I know I do. But yeah.
Yeah, so you could, it is a very common request, like Sotiria said. So you could, if you have your own dedicated lab, you could use it for CTF. So you could sponsor machines and you have the scoreboard there. So you could use it for CTF, or we also have a separate CTF kind of offering, which if you are interested in hosting your own event, and this is not just for professors, even, groups of people, students, if they want to host their own event, just reach out to us and we can give you details on how we can support creating a CTF and hosting a CTF event.
Awesome. And I believe we have time for one final question. I believe that is one because you said you did a lot of hiking at the start of your career. So do you have a funny hiking story to share? Everyone wants to know this question. Okay, so go on, Katerina, if you have something.
I don't have a funny one, but I have the most interesting one that I'm kind of known for, which is when I first started getting into this technical side. When I was 18, myself and my team hacked an airplane. So when airplanes were starting to become more wireless in nature, they wanted to make sure that they're kind of safe. I can't mention the airline, but they're safe now. And we wanted to do it the weirdest way, because
they're safe because of COVID, because no one flies. What do you mean?
That's another reason. But if you think about how would you hack a plane, people automatically go to like the screens, the TV screens they have, or wherever you can plug in a cable. That wasn't the way. The way we did it was, actually, can anyone guess? Now that they're chatting, can anyone guess how we did it?
Oh my God, yes. Oh,
can anyone guess how
Okay, maybe we can give them some time in order. Okay, and we send. We send the Desmat, but we are out of stock. That is.
Okay, that's the question. How did we manage to hack this plane?
So yes, let's say that we reply this now. I don't see anyone guessing in the chat yet. So do we have anyone that wants to give a try? Wi-Fi, phishing. Another one said, I hope it's not during a flight. RDF. Flirting with the captain. Yes, we know. Yes, Igat is a very beautiful lady. Cue the chat explosion. Awesome. Team viewer.
Team viewer.
Okay.
Okay, we're not guessing it because you're not going to guess it. So the way we did it was from, when you sit on a plane and you have these little signs on top of you, the no smoking sign and the seatbelt sign, it was from the seatbelt sign. And this is weird, but when the pilot in the cockpit presses a button to open that seatbelt sign for you, that's actually a network that people didn't realize you could connect to. And it wasn't authenticated properly with message authentication code, so you can connect to it and brute force the pilot's cockpit from the seatbelt sign. And obviously the pilot's cockpit could go offline just like this from that. But obviously this was a couple of years ago. But it's just a very, very interesting story from the security perspective on how important our skills are, because how many people does it take to create a plane? You know what I mean? So many different departments, the architecture behind it, but just a small little aspect like this from a security mindset that if you don't protect, it could be kind of catastrophic, especially with critical infrastructure. So again, highlights how critical our talent is, and in the world in general, everything is relying on security.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much, Ikat. I believe everyone will, oh my God, do you have some open lights panel for that? Okay, we're going to get some very interesting questions after that. Guys, thank you very much for everything. Thank you very much for joining, Ikat.
Good luck, guys.
Thank you. I'm going to share a little bit of our last details for today. Thank you very much for everything. One of our top questions is for the rules that we have. Please check the updated ones that we have on Discord now. We can reshare the brief for everyone that didn't receive them more, because we updated a specific point, because we had a question about what is the difference of students and undergrad students, and all that stuff. So please go to Discord, check it out. We have all of the final questions there. And I believe that is all from our perspective. Guys, thank you very much for joining. I hope you had fun. I will meet you all tomorrow to the actual CTF. We will chat all weekend long about it. It's going to be a very good event. I promise you that. If you have any questions on how to enroll your university, just send an email to education. If you had how to join CTF now, unfortunately, registration are closed. If you have a question about the sales team, on how you can utilize Hack the Box for your university, redirect it to sales@hackthebox.eu, and Ikat and Nifu will reply. And if you want to opt into careers, don't forget to check out the careers in Hack the Box. And we have also on Discord, my favorite channel, we have also the bot also auto refreshes every time we push a new job in Hack the Box. That is also updated to our Discord, so you can be tuned all the time. And yes, if you have any questions, you can always ping the staff or the Discord team, and you can join us, or you can contact us for a problem or something through Jira or info or education or sales. Thank you very much for your time all today. It was amazing. And I hope we make history, and next year is better with no COVID, and you're all safe, and we are even more. Thank you very much for your dedication to Hack the Box, for being members of us, and have fun. Happy hacking all, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.